Have you seen? Have you seen?
No.
Have you seen the movie Shrek?
Right there in the black.
Black?
Yeah, in the black.
Hey, can I just ask you something really quick? Okay, bye.
Have you seen Shrek?
Have you seen the movie Shrek?
Yes.
All right.
Alright,
Alright.
thank you.
Princess Fiona.
Princess Fiona.
Yes,
That's
I
a
know
character.
who Shrek is.
That's a character. Thank you.
Do you know anyone who's never
Ogres
seen
are
it?
like onions. They have layers.
Oh, you've really seen Shrek. All right.
We're trying to find people that have never seen it.
Oh, well, that's going to be unusual.
Yeah, exactly. Can you just say?
Everybody's
Hey,
seen Shrek.
can you just?
Everyone's seen
Can you
Shrek.
just say welcome to the Shrexorcist Podcast, episode 2?
Welcome to the Shrexorcist. This is our podcast, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And
Have a
you
great
rock.
night.
In the name of the Farquad, the Lithgow, the Duloc, the Thelonious, amen. I'm Joseph Siegel, fan of all things Farquad. With me is my co-host Cameron Eddie Murphy, and you're listening to the Shrexorcist Podcast, a podcast dedicated to seeking out individuals who have not seen the 2001 film Shrek, and basically just kind of analyzing what that says about their character and what else they may have been doing at that time instead. Big episode today. We got to talk to our first ever non-believer, really nice guy. His name is Anthony Chance, and we had a good talk with him. Cameron?
Hey, good to be here. Fan of Farquad, Joseph Siegel. Man, was this a good episode. This
Man,
was a good
was
one.
it. Let me
the
tell you.
first non-believer. We had him in here. We talked Shrek. We talked Godzilla, postmodernism.
A lot of juice. It's a barrel of monkeys in this one.
It's
we
a
got
good
into
one.
the meat and bones of the podcast. First non-believer, a.k.a. someone who hasn't seen Shrek. And it was a good conversation. He's a
It was.
cultured guy. He's a smart guy. Very nice person.
Yeah.
And a lot of reasons we hope to have him back. But good way to establish what we're all about here.
Yeah, first of many, folks.
Let me tell you, you're in for a ride.
Oh, boy.
So, without further ado, let's get into the conversation.
Let's go.
Alright, so you wearing underwear right now? Is that,
What?
are those even pants?
They're technically shorts.
Okay.
They're
I'm
street
pretty sure
legal.
pants are performative, my man. So
Yeah. Well, alright.
I'm performing these pants.
these pants are they are performing as pants.
Yeah, exactly.
You got Anthony here. I'd
Oh, we on?
yeah,
Oh, we're on. Okay.
I didn't, okay, that's fine.
Good thing we caught that pants bit.
certainly want to I think a certain kind of congratulations are in order, I guess. You certainly live in a Shrek world. You've abstained for quite a bit. Is that
Let's hear it
is that
for
intentional?
Anthony.
Is it intentional or what's
I,
the deal?
Did we do introductions already?
Why you
Should we
ain't
do
down?
that?
I think he just said this is Anthony, and then we launched in.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Well, you said that we were gonna do the intro.
Oh, we're gonna do the intro later. We already did the intro.
Jesus Christ, could you be less professional?
Sorry.
This guy's 10 minutes late. Not even 10 minutes. Anthony shows up. Cameron's not even here.
We're wasting
This is-
precious Shrek time.
All right.
Back to Shrek.
Okay, so question, it was why you ain't down.
Why I ain't down?
Yeah.
I think you asked if it was intentional or not.
Yeah.
And the
Yes.
answer to that is, at the beginning, almost certainly yes.
Wow.
When it came out in theaters, when I was, when did it
How
come out?
old
How
are you?
how young were
2001.
we?
What year were you born?
I was born in '92, so I would have been.
I can
what?
do this math. Hold on. Let me
That would've been
carry
9.
the one. 9 years old. Yeah.
Okay, so
Let me check my
this
calculator.
this
Yeah, that's good.
well,
Let's
to
crunch the numbers.
92 to 2001 is 9 years. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was younger, I had this thing where I just like really pushed away anything that I considered quote kiddie.
Wow.
You know, just like I wanted to be older and I wanted to watch mature shit and I hated things that were lighthearted and I was like, fuck Shrek, green monster, stupid, fuck. I want to watch
With that language.
goddamn Taxi
That is
Driver.
a
Like, come
9-year-old.
on.
You mentioned you like Donnie Darko. That came out that year. So
I
you
didn't
could have
see-
been one of the unicorns that saw it in theaters.
I didn't see Donnie Darko. in
It made
theaters.
like $400,000 in theaters.
That's
so, yeah, maybe 6. Yeah, but then it became a
Whoa.
cult.
cult classic.
cult movie on DVD.
And we dressed up
A
in
defining piece of cinema.
Halloween.
I love Donnie Darko.
we dressed up as Donnie and Frank for Halloween.
We did, and it was great. It was the best Halloween ever. We'll put a picture on the video podcast.
You'll see it.
Just kidding. There's no video podcast.
I want
bait
to
and switch.
I want to ask about your family. Like, so do you have like an older sibling?
I have a younger sibling.
You have a younger
I have
sibling.
a younger sibling. She's 4 years younger than me, born in '96.
So what do you think? What do you think this like aversion to kiddie stuff? I think like little kids
I would
are always
have to
afraid of
say-
being like a baby.
Yeah.
Like you hear people like parents threaten them with like
Like
"Are
they're
you a
overcompensating."
baby?"
Yeah.
But then I think eventually, I don't know. I think older siblings like you want to be cool for your older sibling. But was there something like especially?
I would have to say it was
For you?
me, probably just me being so far up my own ass and just, I don't know how to say this, wanting to be sophisticated.
Right.
Just thinking that I was above things because of how much of a little shit I was as
Yeah.
a kid. Or not really thinking I was above things, but wanting to be above this. Like, I wanted to be above Shrek. I thought it was a stupid animated movie for babies that was, like, about fart jokes and dumb, like, Alvin and the Chipmunks style, like, stupid nonsense. And I thought to myself, I don't want to see this. I made an intentional choice when I was younger not to see it. And after it came out, that choice became not so intentional. It's like...
Yeah.
Snowballs.
I have not actively avoided Shrek since at least like 2005.
Wow.
But I just never sort of, I mean, I don't know, I just never saw it. It was never...
What's your perception of like the characters and the plot? Do you have any
Yeah,
idea?
give us-
Okay, here's what
Explain
I
to
know
us
about
Shrek.
Shrek.
All
Here's
right.
what I know about Shrek.
Everything you know about Shrek.
There's a green ogre played by Michael Myers and a horse played by Eddie Murphy. Is he a horse? He's a donkey. A donkey played by
donkey.
Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
And
So-
there's
Not a lot. No.
Fiona
Yes,
I
Fiona.
don't know. Okay.
is a
You knew the-
redheaded
Played by
princess.
whom?
I don't know.
Doesn't know.
Oh, by the way, I want to bring this up. Okay, so this is just a side note. Something about our own Cameron Murphy. Our good friend Mary Clore pointed this out. We neglected to mention this last podcast. His name on this show is Cameron Eddie Murphy, because Eddie Murphy is the voice of the donkey. We didn't even mention that you also have the same first name as Cameron Diaz. who plays
Cameron Diaz,
Fiona.
Eddie Murphy.
Cameron
did we
Cameron
miss
Diaz,
that?
Eddie Murphy is your new name
Wow.
on this show.
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy. It's like you were chosen.
great.
Your name.
I think my parents.
They
We're-
saw this
we're
in
on
your
to
future.
something, yeah.
They knew.
It's like you're some sort of Shrek Christ born into the world to spread the
Yeah,
word. You
there
were
was no
chosen.
father.
I should have checked the divining rods this morning. I would have known this would
Yeah.
happen.
So you know Fiona's name, but you didn't know
played by
that
Cameron
Donkey.
Cameron Diaz,
now.
His
yeah.
name is Donkey.
Is her
You thought
name
he was
Donkey?
a horse.
Oh, okay.
It's
well,
an
I
unoriginal name for the donkey.
It is, yeah. It's kind of sad what it implies.
Let's just call the donkey Donkey.
Because we don't really know his origin.
This is Green Ogre 1. This is Green Ogre 2.
We don't really know his origin. We just get that he had like an abusive owner that tried to sell him like auction at the beginning.
Oh, this is what I wanted to say. One of the questions I was going to ask is like, I think one of the themes of Shrek is Shrek starts out as like this social outcast in the swamp. And it's about him overcoming that to integrate himself into this community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't want to be in this community of fairy tale creatures, but he comes around to it, right? Because of Donkey and because of understanding that Fiona can love him even though he's ugly. And I think that hearing you talk about as a kid not wanting to seem childish, what was it like in grade school? Did you have like a group of friends, or were you like a loner in grade school?
When I was young, I moved around a lot.
Every
year
I was
moved
gonna
into
ask-
a different school.
Yeah.
So I did not have a lot of friends. So yeah, I did not have a lot of friends. I did not really have the real community element
Right.
in my life because I just moved around literally like every year or maybe every 2 years I would be in a different school somewhere.
Why was your family moving so much?
Two big reasons. One is that my dad often lost his job. And the second is my dad, even if he didn't lose his job, often got tired of where we were and decided to just we're leaving.
Right.
So that's,
So what were some of the places that you lived at as a
Let's
kid?
see. I was born in Richmond, Virginia. I lived there for a few years, and then I moved to Leesburg, Virginia, and then I moved to Eugene, Oregon, and then I moved to Washington, D.C., or Alexandria, Virginia, which is like a real suburb of Washington, D.C. And then I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and then I moved up to Boston, Massachusetts, and then from there I moved to Chicago, and then I moved back to Louisville, Kentucky, and then after that I moved down to Memphis, Tennessee.
Jeez,
And
Louise.
then after I lived in Memphis, Tennessee, I moved back to Louisville, Kentucky. And then I finished high school in Louisville, Kentucky, and moved to Lexington, Kentucky for college. So those
Keep
are the
coming
places
back to Louisville.
Yeah.
I did.
Keep coming back.
This is kind of, if I had like a home base, it would probably be Louisville.
2001 then. Wait, do you remember exactly where you were in 2001?
2001. Oh, I do, because I remember where I was when 9/11 happened.
Yeah, that's a good indicator.
Yeah, I was in Boston.
Shrek first, 9/11 second, but continue on.
Well, okay.
Boston?
Shrek always comes first.
Right.
Yeah, I was in Boston at that time.
So, okay, yeah, just a cultural phenomenon of that scale. Like, was there ever any kind of, like, conversation where, like, because I remember I was 9, I think it was just a thing where my parents it was, like, I think my brother's birthday or something, and Shrek was the biggest movie in the world, and they were like, oh, let's go see that. Did your parents or sister ever express interest?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Has your family seen Shrek?
yeah.
Has everyone in your family seen Shrek?
Let's get this out of the way.
Okay.
Let's talk family here.
I certainly do not know if anyone in my family has seen Shrek. And I certainly don't remember what conversations I might have had about what movies I might have wanted to go see when I was 9.
Did you guys go to the movies a lot together?
I don't even remember that.
Really?
I think we didn't. No, we didn't. My mom and dad have very different tastes in movies. They would not ever agree on going to a thing.
And that's usually where, like, a
Today.
lot of the appeal of, like, a family movie
Yeah,
comes
I was
into
gonna
play.
ask if you watched like family movies, like Disney films and Pixar films, or
I have not seen very many Disney movies in my life.
Man, would you have
From,
missed
like-
out on some references in Shrek? Let me
From
tell
the,
you.
like-
Might have been a good thing you didn't see it.
From like the Disney Renaissance or whatever, that's from like Little Mermaid to when.
Tarzan? No.
no,
Yeah.
Tarzan is not in the Renaissance. Tarzan is post-Renaissance.
Oh, I was thinking
Is that
of, like,
just
when the
because Tarzan
2D...
sucks, or
Uh,
why?
it's not up to snuff with the Renaissance. It's just
I was
not.
thinking that, and I could be wrong, maybe it's Lilo and Stitch or something. I thought Tarzan was the last 2D movie. That
No, the last 2D movie
Well, besides
was
Princess and the Frog. Yeah, but I meant, like, when they moved onto 3D. I think it's either Tarzan or Lilo and Stitch.
I think Lilo and Stitch came after Tarzan.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do my
Yeah, it
research
definitely
here.
did, because Tarzan was at like 98, I think. And
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch was 2000 and something.
Because I remember Tarzan was the age where they started doing that weird hybrid stuff where, like, when he's, like, surfing on the trees, it looked
they
3D.
do like the little video game stuff.
But the
where-
Disney Renaissance, so it started with, what'd you say?
Little Mermaid, I
Mermaid,
think,
okay.
which was like 89.
89, I think, yeah.
Of that, like, span of movies, I've seen Mulan.
That's it?
That's it. I haven't seen the other ones.
Wow, I don't even think that's in the Renaissance.
Did you see Lion King?
No, I haven't seen
Oh,
Lion King.
oh.
Wow.
We've
I liked
Do
it.
you,
Mulan.
do you have an urge to see any of these like really popular family movies?
In the right atmosphere, maybe. I probably don't think I'd get a lot of it just watching it, like, by myself
Right.
in front of my desktop.
You're
just
right.
like, oh, this is a nice kids movie with a clear, not opaque message about being yourself or the value of family or something like this, and there's some, like, simple musical numbers.
I
don't
think
know.
Lion King was one of the first to break that kind of barrier or people's assumptions about those things, because there is that thing where, like,
That's an
parents would...
adaptation of Macbeth, right?
Hamlet.
Hamlet. That's
Yeah.
an adaptation of
Loose.
Hamlet,
It's a
right?
loose.
Well, there's a thing where, like, parents would walk out and get angry and take their kids out of the movie after Mufasa died because, like, this is supposed to be childish escapism stuff. We don't want this, like, real, like, gritty kind of, like,
Pathos.
yeah.
Well, I guess you spoiled for me that Mufasa died.
Well,
but
wow.
that's
Well, you know what? There's a statute of limitations on some of these things.
No, I was just kind of kidding.
We're also going to talk about Shrek. What happens in Shrek?
We are. Listen, buddy, you waited this long. You ain't getting a second chance.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to complain like, oh god, you spoiled Dr. Strangelove for me. I can't
Alright.
believe it.
So the sex scene in Shrek, kind of breaking down barriers, kind of introducing families to a new thing, something you missed out on.
You're lying about
There's
this.
no sex scene in Shrek.
I was
Man,
like,
is it dirty?
an
Oh,
ogre,
it is
an
so
ogre sex
dirty.
scene would be breaking down a lot of barriers.
We're not
Yeah,
gonna
when
get
are we
into
going to
my-
see that? When are we going to see an ogre sex scene in
Well,
Hollywood?
when
I'm
I
sure-
show you my fan fiction,
Shrek R34, all you have to do is use Google. It's easy.
Yeah, totally not on my browsing history already. Don't even look there.
Yeah, man, everyone knows about incognito mode. You're fine.
So you like movies, right? Like
Yeah,
enjoy
I
films.
watch
You
movies.
seem like you're pretty knowledgeable about
You do.
about
He's
cinema.
been. He knows a lot
Yeah.
of.
I watch a lot of movies, and I have, I've got my own shit that I like that no one else likes, like my own personal, like, pet interests that are bad and dumb.
All right.
So I have.
And they are?
I love kaiju films. I love Godzilla movies. I like the Gamera series. I like all.
Did you like Pacific Rim?
No.
You didn't.
No.
I didn't really like Pacific Rim. Which
So what
pains
about
me
these
to say.
movies that you like?
Well, this was kind of before I was 9, and really before I had the wherewithal to reject childish kiddie things because of what an arrogant prick I was. I had seen some. I had seen some Godzilla movies when I was young. I
Yeah.
remember going into like a Suncoast video and like fucking around in the discount section and seeing just a cover of like the first one I ever had was Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. And I looked at
Wow.
the cover and I was like, holy shit, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it was
How's
like
he gonna
90
beat Space
cents.
Godzilla? That doesn't
Well,
seem...
Space Godzilla is kind of a piece of shit.
Okay.
He's just Godzilla with like electric meteorites sticking out of his back. Godzilla dispatches him with ease. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm sorry I spoiled that for you. I just thought they looked really cool, and it's just sort of like a thing that I've kept over the years that I always enjoy watching. I'm not sure why, except for the original Gojira, the 54 one, is actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
Not in the it's bad and I like it way, but like all the like really necessary critical elements for really good storytelling and a really interesting message and commentary on things in Japan are present for Gojira. That's actually a movie I would recommend. I think it's really good. I wouldn't recommend any of the other like goddamn 100 or some odd.
What about the remake that just made?
They just made or
Yeah, the one. did you
Bryan
see that?
Cranston.
The Bryan Cranston
Aaron
one?
Taylor Johnson.
I saw that. I have mixed feelings about it.
I straight up didn't like it.
That's fair. The dialogue and the story are bad. So if you didn't like it for those reasons, I agree.
But the special effects?
It's not so much I mean, the special effects were good, but that's not part of the thing that makes me like it.
Right.
I guess I don't know how to say this, but the visuals outside the special effects are all really good, all really suggestive. I remember there was a great scene in that movie where they're releasing a bunch of paratroopers from like a plane, and they're falling down onto a city in order to complete some task. But when I was watching it, I was like, wow, that's a really great visual allegory for carpet bombing.
Wow.
It looks really good, and it's very thematically connected to what the original themes of Gojira were in 54.
All right, you could.
And there are a lot of things in there like that.
You could tell me more about this probably, but it is kind of just like an allegory on like the A-bomb, like a lot of like
For
Japan.
the original one?
Yeah.
That's a part
It's
of
mass
it.
destruction.
It's really complicated and dense. I don't know if
Are you
we have time
really
to-
into Japanese culture? Or is it
Not really.
Not really?
Not really. Not really. I mean, Japanese culture. I watched there's some like anime figures that figures like directors that I
Yeah.
really like Satoshi Kon is my favorite. And I get into some anime shit like that. And I really like the Godzilla movies and the like Gamera series, but outside that I'm not really a huge cinephile.
Yeah.
Cinephile.
All right. Well, I want to reel it back into Shrek for a second.
Okay, let's do that.
We always got to come back, man. Good old
Keeps
Shrek.
pulling me back in.
Back to the swamp.
Back to the swamp. All right. So I actually have a correction from episode 1. When I said John Lithgow, who plays Farquaad. I said he was Sideshow Bob.
You said he was the voice of Sideshow
I said he was the
Bob.
voice of that's
Kelsey Grammer.
That's wildly inaccurate. But no, it's just vaguely inaccurate because they're similar actors. Right?
Yeah.
They're both thespians and they're
Yeah.
both hilarious. So anyway, I want to ask about John Lithgow. What are your thoughts on John Lithgow? Do you know John Lithgow?
Is he the voice of Farquaad?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
Farquaad?
Oh, I forgot that he
Okay.
hasn't seen it.
This is kind of my thing. Farquaad.
I'll let our Farquaad.
Okay, I do not know who this voice
Do
actor
you not
is.
know Farquaad at all?
Farquaad's the main antagonist. You know, like the
He's
short.
Short?
Yes.
He's got like the black curls.
Yes. Selfish
and,
intentions, one might
chin.
say.
Huge
He
chin.
looks like a reference that I can't remember how to make, but you know.
Yes. So yeah, I was gonna say, what's your? We didn't want to really get into this though. Like, do you know what's your idea of the plot of the movie?
The plot of the movie, as far as I know, is Shrek lives in a swamp.
Not much shrimp in the film.
Okay, well then that's why I didn't see it. Shrek lives in a swamp. Eddie Murphy pushes and prods and irritates him into being less of an antisocial dick. He saves Fiora from some vague and ill-defined threat that I'm not aware of what it is. There you go.
Very basic.
Close.
Not so much the skeleton. Maybe you got like the spine of the movie. We got a good vertebra going on.
You've got some of the internal organs, maybe.
Yeah.
Actors
Well,
in the
like the
film
useless
do
ones,
things
kind of.
related to
The
the
useless
plot.
ones, maybe.
You've got like the appendix
The
down
appendix.
and like the left kidney.
But you're missing
No, that's actually
the
good.
heart.
You kind of got like the emotional plot down, and one that Cameron kind of addressed is like Shrek is an outcast, and you know, the whole thing with his character having layers. You know, he's got.
Is this where the onion quotes
Yes,
from?
this is where the big onion quotes
I hear
from.
people say that a lot.
He's talking
I
about
think
like
it's from
Shrek. Shrek is, you know, it's sensitive on the inside. Last time Hannah brought it up, she said it was what's the term she used
Oh, I wasn't listening
to Hannah.
to anything you guys said.
See, I wasn't listening to what you were saying. Otherwise, I would have corrected that horrid mistake of The Simpsons.
Great chemistry between you guys here. Love
Yeah.
it.
We've been developing it for 2 episodes now.
When the mic turns on, we talk. When the mic goes off, we don't make eye contact.
we don't look at each
speak.
other. This is a purely professional relationship.
So yeah, there's a lot of there's Shrek's character. It gets in depth about kind of accepting yourself and how other people perceive you on the outside. You know, it's just you could look at all sorts of things in that. But the structural plot, if you don't mind me saying, you know, it's been 50. Well, like
Oh
it is,
no,
2001.
I probably won't even watch
2016.
it after
That's
this,
another thing
like-
I was going to ask. Do you plan on ever watching it? And if you die before you see Shrek,
Do I go
will
to
you
Shrek hell?
will you regret your life? And will you?
Well, I will have died, so I will lose the capacity
You're
for
right.
regret at
Phil,
that point.
hypothetically, if you were to die on your deathbed, and
No, I wouldn't regret
Yeah.
not seeing Shrek.
but I think you should see it.
Structurally, though, in the movie, there's a lot of like kind of meta. I don't know if you'd say meta, but there's commentary on like, you know, traditional stories, which and you know,
Postmodern.
I was gonna say, you know, I pretend to know stuff. I don't really. I don't know what the fuck that means. Is it a postmodern thing?
Yes, it's a postmodern,
postmodern?
Disney fairy tale, self-conscious movie, family movie.
when you say postmodern,
yeah.
like when I think of postmodernism,
Oh boy, here we go.
I think of any kind of systemic suspicion of grand narratives or like big
Yeah.
stories that tell simple modernist cause and effect
Right.
relationships.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what postmodern means outside that context. In what way would you say? I'm
Oh,
sorry
it's a
to
thing
reverse the
people with
roles here.
turtlenecks and glasses of wine say. That's the only thing I know about it.
I think it's postmodern.
Cameron is wearing a turtleneck.
In
right
very
now.
simple sense.
Would you like some
I think it's postmodern because it's self-referential, it's self-aware, and it's yeah. I think because it's not a fairy tale is a grand narrative.
Yeah.
It's
a morality.
yeah, it's a
most of
morality
them.
tale, and it's
And this
trying to
inverts that.
present, you know, reality or the story as contained and something that can be told and understood, and like any theory or explanation of the universe, right? That's modernism.
Yeah.
And then postmodernism is we can't understand the totality of
Yes,
existence.
there are limits on our perspective.
And I don't think Shrek is trying to tell the story of the fairy tale in sort of a you know, self-contained way. It's saying like these are fairy tales, and it's open now to being self-aware. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of what I'm saying makes any sense.
I have to imagine that because the ogre is the hero, that this is kind of an inversion of
Exactly,
typical storytelling
exactly.
tropes. And the way that it inverts
And-
those typical storytelling tropes maybe invites the viewers to, reanimate their disbelief in other certain tales.
Sure. But the interesting thing is, as the sequels pile up,
How many are there?
There
I think
are
there are 3.
four.
There are 4.
4.
All right.
Yeah.
4
Did they
sequels.
just get better and better?
No,
Oh.
first 2 actually are excellent. I think the
Yeah.
second one is an excellent sequel. The third one is where it just becomes this kind of corporate, like,
And this is
okay,
what I was
we need
going
to
to
make money
say,
this year.
because this is postmodernism folding in on itself. Because it kept getting more and more self-aware, more and more in-jokes about Disney references,
Yeah.
to the point where it just becomes a corporate... Well, you could argue that Shrek, to begin with, was
It was
big...
made by a corporation.
Right, I mean-
if the definition.
But this is corporations, like, taking irony from postmodern 70s, like, counterculture, taking irony and using it for commercial purposes. And then irony in postmodernism becomes the very thing that it was fighting against in the first place.
So
And that's
now
what kind of
it's-
happened to the Shrek franchise.
Now you'd say maybe it's like the exact same as your typical corporate, just pushed out for cash movie, except at the end of every scene they like wink at you.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
The difference.
First film,
The
all
Shrek touch.
They're winking to the bank.
Yeah.
They're winking all the way to the bank.
And with most franchises, the first film always has a different tone where you can tell, like, there are people trying to say something and get kind of a nuanced story out there. Like, a big example would be, like, Pirates of the Caribbean. You watch that first one, and it's like, okay, this is, like, you haven't seen that
You
one
haven't
either.
seen Pirates of the
Pirates of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Do you hate movies? No.
I like movies.
Yeah.
I like movies.
Just kidding.
Seems like you watch good, like really good movies.
I
though.
just went on
You don't
a
waste
long
your time.
tangent about how I watch old Japanese men in rubber costumes fighting and blowing up cardboard buildings. So I wouldn't make the assertion that I watch good movies.
I think you
See, it's
do.
the thing, like, Cameron's explained to me postmodernism a million times.
Because I know what it is.
When he goes on...
You do know what it is.
Well, yeah, you do.
I
Actually,
know.
my idea of postmodernism is what you've told me. When he goes on the monologue, though, I just started thinking about Power Rangers. Like, I love Power Rangers. There's Putties. There's Rita Repulsa. There's a lot of good heroes.
It's a very postmodern name. No, I'm not.
No,
gonna
you're
go.
ruining it. I want to see him beat up the putties.
I'm pretty sure Power Rangers is post-structuralist. Just me
Oh.
coming.
No.
You want to talk
actually-
about the difference between post-structuralism and postmodernism?
No, I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
I
so
do,
Rita
but maybe
Repulsa.
not.
No, maybe not
beginning,
in the
it's the same-
Shrexorcist.
the same every time. The same scene where she throws the spear into the ground, and then the putties come out, and then they punch the putties. Now, Anthony does know movies. He came when he was in my house. He's kind of looking around. He's looking at my movies. We were talking about Kubrick, and we were talking about Scorsese. I can already tell. Yeah, you have a love for cinema, which is
I do.
further mystifies the fact, because all ironic shit aside, Shrek is a good film, and it's just that it's just kind of like and the fact that it was such a big cultural phenomenon kind of like amplifies how impressive it is that you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And fucking watch it, man.
I
Yeah.
might.
Let us
Actually-
know. Let us know if you watch it. Come back and we'll talk about it. We'll have a follow-up episode.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
I'd be on.
No,
I
open
might watch it
open
just to have the
invitation.
follow-up episode.
All right.
We've talked about the way this podcast is going to evolve. Maybe we don't really have that big of an idea of it, but
We have plans.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Big
oh
plan.
boy.
The cops have plans. The mom has plans.
Shrexorcist.
Shrexorcist has plans. Yeah, we did discuss Star Wars, and people haven't seen that. That's obviously probably a way bigger cultural phenomenon than Shrek. He hasn't seen Star Wars, so let's just say
haven't.
Anthony's gonna be back.
Oh, we'll see Anthony again.
Might as well put his name on that seat.
Well, unless you vote now on your phones. You may not want me to come back. That's fine.
Yeah, let's get a text in.
Text no Anthony ever again to
Now, it'll
whatever to your mom,
It'll either be
and
Yeah.
she'll let us know. Your mom will let us know, and
It's
we'll
either
go,
gonna
we'll
be
go from there.
Anthony XOXO if you like it, or Anthony no if you didn't. Anthony, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Yes, it
It's
has.
great. And we
Thank
will
you guys so
definitely-
much for having me.
Yeah,
on.
thanks for
and
coming in.
We'll
It's-
definitely see you again for further episodes. This is where Anthony floors his car and drives as quick as possible.
Can't
Hey,
get out fast enough.
you got a call on your phone. Anthony, what are you up to? I don't fucking know.
Dude, I just sank 2 hours into the
There's
fucking
two-
I
trash
just do a
can.
Shrek podcast? What am I doing with my day off?
Two nebbishy young men interviewed me on a couch in some weird apartment. Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks, man.
My pleasure.
So yeah, that was a solid conversation. Anthony's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, we
knows
like
his
Anthony.
stuff.
We should say, I don't think we ever said this. We were kind of friends with him before.
Yeah.
Right? We know him through
Uh,
our circle of friends.
Which, yeah, was a big surprise, a pleasant surprise that he hadn't seen it because it's someone we were already kind of associated with. I've been in the same room with him a couple times. Today's the first day I think I've actually gotten to know him.
Yeah.
We spent a good 15 minutes chatting before he got here. He was looking at the movies and whatnot around here. He knows his stuff.
He loves David Foster. He loves David Foster
Let me
Wallace.
tell you something about big fan of Quentin Tarantino, big fan of David Foster
Good
Wallace.
taste,
Who
this
respectively
Anthony.
are my and Cameron's Lord and Saviors. So, yeah, good taste, this Anthony.
Yeah.
Definitely doesn't hate both of them. We're
Doesn't
definitely
hate
not
them.
being
We're not being
sarcastic.
sarcastic at all. Hey, this is the first. This is the first episode. We're gonna have lots more non-believers. If you know anybody that's never seen Shrek, get them in here.
Toss them our way, man. Throw us a bone.
We're gonna talk to them.
You want more product, you got to give us the material. This is up to you. And let me tell you, when this becomes subscription-based, you're going to be creating
You're gonna be
and
paying for that
supporting.
subscription.
This is a baby you're going to be raising for a long time.
But seriously, we want to thank everyone for listening to this. If you're still listening at this point,
Yeah, and dear holy God, did we not expect you guys to listen to this first episode, so thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And hopefully you've made it to this point.
Yeah. I guess if you're hearing our voice right now, you have.
That is, yes, completely
Unless you-
unexpected
yeah.
and beautiful.
Mom, are you listening, Mom?
Yeah, Mom, remember, turn the volume up on the side. It's the little knob thing on the side to turn it up, Mommy. And I'm talking to Cameron's mom, by the way.
Hi, Mommy.
Hey, Adele, thank you for listening.
My mom's name is Adele, like the singer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Shrexorcist episode 2.
And we'll see you guys again for episode 3.
Bye-bye.
Revenge of the
Revenge of the Shrek.
Booyah. All right. See you guys.
Bye.